Greetings, sunshines and sunnies. It is I, Queen J Lotus, King Sunkiss, coming at y'all right quick, right fast, certainly, for a weekend forecast read. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the specificities of this reading and these cards, all right? So, straight out the gate, we are starting off at the top of them with the Moon card. And this is from the Sun and Moon Tarot deck, okay? This card came out sideways, and it is sideways with the head to the left. So, something I want to specify here is that when we're dealing with sideways cards, sideways meanings of cards, and I'm saying this specifically to me and my process and my interpretations, my divine realm, my spirit guides have communicated to me that when I shuffle and cards come out sideways, if the head is going to the left, there is some sort of blinding negativity going on that is blocking the right side up of it all, and or there is something negative that you may that someone in the collective, or whoever I'm reading, may be perceiving as a positive, misperceiving a negative for a positive. Okay. If the head is going to the right, then there is some sort of blinding optimism, maybe even toxic optimism, some sort of higher functioning that is getting in the way of the clearer picture, and or a higher functioning that is causing a total demonization of some frequency of darkness that may not necessarily be innately evil. Now, this can ebb and flow based on the innate nature of, I'm using the term innate loosely here, but the innate nature of the card. So specifically, like the Moon card, right? A lot of people interpret the Moon card as a negative card straight up. But in actuality, the Moon card is not a straight up negative card. It's a card that is usually having to do with darkness, of course. But darkness doesn't necessarily mean evil. Darkness can simply mean it's hard for you to see. It's hard for you to navigate. It's challenging. Okay? So it doesn't necessarily mean that it is bad, right? So that being said, and drawing it specifically to this card, and specifically to this reading, of course, like I said, we're dealing with the Moon card here, forecast for the weekend, and it is sideways with the head going to the left. So that being said, the neutrality of this card and the head is going to the left, that is letting me know that there is negativity that is causing blindness, or there has been a lot of negativity that has been causing blindedness, causing confusion, causing a lot of excessive challenges, and therefore compromising one's magician abilities. Because the moon and or moon energy, a part of its functioning, a part of its purpose is for the magician to alchemize the darkness. Boom, TikTok. And so the Moon card here in this layout is really representing more like past energy, past life energy, months ago, days ago, years ago type energy of this build up and build up and build up, boil up and boil up of chaos, confusion, fogginess, darkness, and variations of forms, clouding one's ability to, one, perceive that they are the magician, and let alone use their magician gifts to transmute the darkness, to alchemize through and with the darkness. Okay, so that being said, as we are segueing into the next card, this Moon card here is acknowledging what the collective has gone through and been going through, as well as it is communicating on over into the Emperor card that the sun is rising. You can very clearly see, at least one way or another, that the sun is in the state of rising, and it is shining extensively bright in the background over the mountains on that Emperor card. Okay? So the sun is rising on the truth and the clarity that everyone has been praying for. So for some people, this is coming peacefully, happily, in the form of vindication, clarity of self, clarity of direction and redirection for yourself as well as others, clarity of that idea that you're going to start on, that you're going to lock in on, and be fruitful and multiply with, all of the things. And for others of you, The clarity is still coming through, but it's coming through by way of a rude awakening, honey. And this rude awakening is concerning who and or what has been unjustly and or toxically puppeteering and or controlling and sabotaging you and your progress, as well as clarity on what to do about it. Okay, so clarity of recognizing your weaknesses as well as recognizing your power. And I inevitably kind of tapped on into the final card in the layout, which is the puppet card. It also came out sideways with the head over to the right, so we know that we got some optimisms that we are either blinded to and or blinded by. And given the nature and energy and channelings through, it is given that it is both. It's both blinding optimism as well as optimism that we are blinded to. And let me clarify the difference as well, just to make sure on language. Blinding optimism can also be known as toxic optimism. You're so positive about something that you're not recognizing or paying attention or acknowledging the shit that you should really be pissed the fuck off by. And the shit is not being done about it because you won't get mad. You're so busy being optimistic, okay? Versus having optimism that you're blinded to because there's so much negativity and fogginess and darkness and shit around, okay? So yeah, just want to make sure I'm being clear in the wordage and elaborations and all of the things, okay? So yeah, I'm gonna read off both sides of this puppet card. So right side up, it reads, trapped in a cycle of consumption and never satisfied. Shallow satisfaction from consumerism is short-lived. Monetary chains hold you back from true happiness. In a nutshell, there's a commentary that I did recently in my stories on Instagram where I was talking about how this society has conditioned people to just eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat with no concern, urgency, or knowledge of if you are even being nourished. You're just eating up everything, but are you being nourished? Are you getting any nutrition and fuel from what you're eating? And that can be applied in a multitude of ways, not just like literally eating food or eating what is edible, but also the eating of energy, the consumption of energy, the consumption of activities, and how activities are consuming you, consuming your energy. And what is that doing for you? What is the mutual result that happens after all of that consumption and exchange? Is it an exchange? Is it parasitic? Okay? Are you being nourished or are you just eating? And so this weekend, the clarity that comes through will be clarifying such the things. Are you being nourished or are you just the eater? And so the other side of the card reads, I don't care what it takes, how long it takes, who I upset. I'm cutting the strings and taking back my life. Big period. And so this particular side of the card points in the direction towards people who have the blinding optimism, the toxic optimism, the toxic chill, the toxic complacency, apathy type shit going on, where you probably had a lot of people like, why you act like you ain't got no emotions? Do you care? Like, what do you want to do? Are you good with that? Like, feel like they constantly checking in on you in different ways, and you like, I'm good. Why do everybody keep acting like something is wrong with me? Now I'm about to get mad because y'all keep acting like I'm mad. And Spirit is saying, you are mad. You are mad, but y'all's for those of you that's resonating with this collective, that anger has been stuffed down in your subconscious for so long, and you've had this toxic optimism that you've been wearing as a cloak and shield. And what does the Emperor have in this particular imagery on this card? He has a shield with a dual phoenix on it. Because you're afraid that if you face that anger, if you face what is pissing you off, that maybe you'll self-destruct. Maybe you can't trust yourself to navigate that. Or that's what you feel. You feel like you can't trust yourself to navigate that. Or you're afraid of what you might find out about the other people that you care about. Such as, I'm going to read the other side of this card again. I don't care what it takes, how long it takes, who I upset. I am cutting the strings and taking back my life. And Spirit is saying that a part of the toxic optimism for that particular collective is y'all have been being puppeteered by other people's belief systems. Y'all have cared too much about what it takes, how long it takes, and who you upset. And you've been performing for treats, and you've been performing a chill, performing happiness, performing enjoyment for the sake of other people's opinions and not making other people upset. And you think that you're protecting your karma, and you've been giving your good karma away. You've been giving your good karma away, and you've been making yourself sick. You've been making yourself sick because that anger has just been sitting inside yourself and rotting and festering and stinking. And that's why other people have been able to smell it on you and off of you, but you haven't been able to sense it with yourself, because the longer you sit in it, the more you become immune to the scent. And it's probably been a lot of things that, you know, people been addressing you with, like, oh, this is like this. Are you sure you want that like that? Or you mean you could have more? Da, 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 da. Are you sure this is okay? Are you sure this is okay? Are you sure this is okay? And you're like, yes, it's okay. I don't want that much. Da, 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 da. And the universe, spirit, your subconscious, all of that is saying it shouldn't be okay for you. You shouldn't be okay with that. It's hella shit that you've been like, well, I'm okay with that. It's not that bad. I can accept that. And you should not be accepting that. Because you're the emperor, you're the empress, and you don't accept nothing less than what matches emperor and empress divinity. Emperors and empresses are kings and queens of kings and queens. Did you hear what I said? They are kings and queens of kings and queens. They're not just kings and queens of peasants and regular civilians and workers and certain other rich people that are just a part of society. No, they are kings and queens of royalty. They are the kings and queens of the kings and the queens, and then all of the shit that they rule too. And you over here talking about, well, I'm just fine. Well, this, you know, I don't have to have that. I don't have to have this. I just want this. And that's a lie, because that don't resonate. That don't resonate with the soul contract that you and your divine realm set up before you manifest it over here. Okay? That's not true to who you truly are. And so overall, that's the biggest point that Spirit is going to be making this weekend to the entire collective. The truth. The truth. Because it's time out for all this cycling. What they called it? It just came up to me. In this in the book for the Sun and Moon Tarot, they describe the moon card as cyclic rhythms. Cyclic rhythms, or you could say cyclic rhythms. Spirit said it's time out for all these cyclic rhythms. The collective, as in, you know, this collective, has used their free will successfully to agree that it's time out for the redundant cyclic rhythms. And they cutting that shit out. And the song that is channeling through as I say that is, if you can do better, then do better. If you don't like how he's playing, then change the record. If you can do better, do better. Cause I don't know what kind of games you playing, but it's time to change the record. That is Change the Record by Melanie Fiona. I'm sorry, I put a D in her name. Might as well be Melody. But yes, honey, that's a song that is channeled through on here. That is Change the Record by Melanie Fiona. Spirit is saying, you can do better, so do better. You don't like the way it's playing? Change the record. And Spirit don't know what kind of games been played, but they about to change the record. So you might as well get ready to dance to a new tune. Start your new choreography, okay? Call your choreographer. Get the choreography. Shout out to Jocelyn Hernandez, okay? Get your two-step popping, all right? Your line dance. Dust off them boots, honey. Get them on the ground. Because we got some new 8 counts, some new 16, 32, 24, some new routines is coming in play. Boom, TikTok. Yes, God. And to wrap up, there is a message that was channeling through from my most recent moon phase reading that I posted. Peep the playlist, all right? I'll leave it in the comments of this video because it's channeling through. So I feel like that is an intuitive calling. Some of you may need that, you know, shortcut open for you real quick, right fast. Going over there, give it a listen and look, see all that good stuff. But the repeated, my tongue moving faster than me. Excuse me, honey. So yes, the repeated message that is coming through. That's the Aries energy, child. The repeated message that is coming through is, and specifically with this Emperor card here, amongst the entirety of what's channeling through this weekend, expect for a collective of very prominent authorities to fall. Authorities specifically that will be exposed for scamming, abuse of power and variations of form. I'm picking up financial abuse, sexual abuse, femicide, just channeled through. I am picking up churches specifically in Mississippi, Tennessee, Louisiana, and Chicago. They channel through just like that. I'm also picking up a church in California that is extensively prominent for trafficking, as well as, it's a word, I don't know the word. They're trying to tell me what it is. So I'm gonna say what the definition is, but it's when it's not the organized dissolving of women, but the organized just straight up mistreatment of women, organized brutalization of women and girls specifically. And this is not like, because this is entailing a plethora of things, but this is not to be thought of as just trafficking or slavery. This is a collective of people who feel like women are literally demons who deserve to be forever terrorized and tortured in their lifetime on this earth. And so this is giving, because what I'm picking up specifically is some church to school pipeline. People taking their women and girls to these churches for reform, rehabilitation, quote unquote, saving, and things of that nature. And then them being sent to schools, quote unquote, that are actually concentration camps. It's giving, I'm not gonna lie, it's giving Holocaust tease. Some sort of organized Holocaustic thing going on, directed, targeting specifically women and girls. And Spirit is saying that this is a large part of the missing peoples and missing children's situations. And a lot of those churches are going to be exposed this weekend. A lot of those churches and establishments are going to be exposed this weekend. It's multiple establishments, but they are highlighting churches specifically. And it's not just mega churches. I'm picking up churches that are popular in their area, but they are, considered small scale, small town, probably don't even have that large of a congregation number type shit, so kind of hidden in plain sight, if you will. And again, I am channeling and interpreting what is coming through off these cards and my competency and understanding of my gifts. Okay, so just a stamp, allegedly, okay? I ain't said no specific names about Nathaniel. I'm just saying we're channeled through. Okay, because that's what channel through, honey. That's what channel through. There are some dictatorships falling this weekend and being exposed straight up this weekend. Okay? And like I said, a lot of people in this collective are being vindicated. I'm picking up that this collective, like who I read for, honey. Y'all is like us, okay? So yeah, it's big vindication energy, big sun energy, big energy of Ra. I'm likely going to do a follow-up video to this to get some messages from Ra, because I have been feeling the sun god Ra channeling through very, very, very heavily, straight up busting me in the face type shit. So yeah. The sun is rising. That's another song channeling through, y'all. That's another song channeling through. I forgot the artist name that sings that song, but the name of that song is The Sun is Rising. It's from the Other Woman soundtrack. I'm not gonna lie, that's not a coincidence. So some of y'all, it might be some third-party situations going on that get exposed this weekend. Also, y'all might come upon, I'm not gonna lie, those of y'all in this situation, you might end up finding like your soul tribe of friends, your soul tribe. Yeah, your soul tribe of friends that like become like your family through the exposure of a third-party situation or fourth-party situation, such as finding out that your mate is cheating on you, and then you and at least one or two or a few of the other people that they're cheating with, y'all all end up becoming cool, and come to find out y'all are all soulmates on some, friend family type shit. Or maybe you could get romantic. Hey, you never know. Life works in mysterious ways, you know? Love lives in strange places. It's the obvious that never shows. I just might find you when you least expect it. You'll never know until you just let go. That's another song channeling, y'all. That is Strange Places by Kelly Rowland. That's off her first solo album, honey. And with all that being said, child, if I do say so myself, honey, I have milked this couch right. And I am thoroughly appreciative for the exchange of vibes. And if you're feeling synchronized, please do me a divine design and like, share, and subscribe so that you can be one of the first to be back through these queenly quotas for the next time. And be sure to bless that comment section with your questions and conversations. And as always, I bid you in all ways light, love, healing, and liberation. Emphasis on liberation. Mwah.